It's Monday, and as you know, we always talk about work on Mondays. And today we are looking at lack of job satisfaction. You know that a lot of people in this era are into jobs that they do not derive satisfaction from it. It is no longer news that people are into one form of job or the other, that they do not derive one form of satisfaction or the other from it. Probably they are just there to fill in space, their expectations are not met, and a lot of other reasons that we will be looking at today. Lack of job satisfaction. And with me is Engineer Tony J. Nakale.
Always a privilege being
Good
here.
morning. Joyce Jakada. Good morning.
Baby, and on Christ the solid rock, as
Mm.
always.
Say you know about that, say you can Christ. You come on the Illuminati church. I say, baby, it's where Christ. We don't trust you, Joyce.
Jesus, baby, always.
And Solomon Sambo.
Where you where
You will not answer your own, you want to attack me.
Exactly.
How? Why?
Why is this show full of attacks?
Good
Left, right,
morning.
center.
Good morning. Good morning, Jemima.
So many
You're looking
militias
good.
on the show.
Thank you.
Tigers.
It's good to have you all
It's
here.
good to be here.
You too. You too.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's amazing to be alive,
True.
honestly.
True.
We live in a day and time where job satisfaction should even be the least of people's worries because the country is engulfed with, a dimension of poverty,
True.
that has engulfed Nigeria, and people can hardly make it, not from day to day, like from hour to hour.
From minute to
If
minute.
someone is calling you to even come and get assistance, you don't even have the means of reaching where your assistance is. So people must intensify effort in whatever they do. If you are a bricklayer, look for 2 jobs per day, because that's the only way you can break even. That's the only way you can break even. My wife, before I slept yesterday, she was telling me that rice is now 2.5 a measure.
Yes.
It delayed my sleeping time. And I was really getting ready to sleep. She now said, rice is now 2.5. Why would you wait till in the morning? Let me hear it so that I can decide to forget about it before I sleep the next day. What she told me. And I was there, dumbfounded. I didn't know what to do. But you see, I want people to carry this is not what we're discussing on the show, but just to encourage someone, you should carry a positive mind. When people wake up and start talking about how things are unbearable, don't join them. Because it's not because you can afford things, that's why you have been alive. It's because you have a God that owns everything. If you go and look at it, Jemima, how much are you paid? But go and look at your life. It's 100 times better than what you earn. So why won't we just keep thanking God for while we thank God, we must also address certain issues of, the economy. But it's terrible. It's extremely terrible. When you see people are trying. I saw a video of a dog that almost killed somebody. I'm not giving excuses for stealing, but the dog held the guy by the arm and laid down, and the guy was shouting, calling people to come and help. But rather, people would rather stay and be recording on phone and be posting. The guy went to steal, I'm sure, and the dog caught the guy. New video. The guy was shouting. But you see, with the hardship, people are resorting to such vices. Only God can help us in Nigeria.
Truly. Times are really getting harder.
They are.
For everyone.
But we should not make that our confession,
yes.
because that old spirit will get us victimized. Because when our parents were born, year in year out, they were complaining that the times are getting harder. And people must understand that the economy of the world is not designed in such a way that it goes up to come down. No, you have to get used to the level. I heard that rice is almost 100,000.
You bag.
70.
So
78.
and I said that I heard that sugar is about 90 something thousand or 80 something thousand a bag of sugar. So that means they will not have these 15 naira ties anymore.
No.
Wraps of 15 naira. You will not have that. So how do you think people will survive? How do you think
Now people are avoiding sugar, in
Solo-
fear of diabetes.
But that's not the sugar that causes diabetes. Even
no, but that's
I
the
know they will
excuse.
be inexposed to that. But you see, of a truth, if we have to look at this, there is no better way to deal with hardship than to have money. That's the only way you can deal with hardship. How can you deal with hardship? There's no other way. So people must, whether you like it or not, you must have that satisfaction on your job, whether you like it or
Exactly,
not.
to survive.
So just think about it with all the hardship.
See what a
and
way
then-
to start the topic.
with all the hardship that people keep talking about, how that it's glaring. You can just go to the market and see how prices are skyrocketed and a lot of things. Then you come to work and then you don't have satisfaction. So what would you resort to? How would you get it? Like at this point, you're supposed to be thinking of incremental wealth. You're supposed to be thinking of diversifying your sources of income. But then the only job that you have, you don't have satisfaction in it. So like what becomes of you? You understand? The term satisfaction is relative,
Yes.
because what Sample Solomon finds satisfactory, for me it is not. And the same thing with another person. You see, generally when you look at job, you're talking about the work you do that pays you, and then you have that work, and then for somebody, all he's looking at is, let me just get this job of a receptionist. I just go. When people walk in, where are you headed? I direct them, I come back. That is job satisfaction for him. That's what makes him happy. On another person's part, he might take that job of being a receptionist, but he's not happy that he's seated like this, and all he does, like routinely every day, is, welcome, who are you here to see? Like for somebody who's looking out for challenge, professional challenge. Like, let me come today, do this differently. Let me be able to do it. I want to be trained. There are a lot of expectations. So while another person is saying that you have been employed regardless of what the role is, another person is saying that, see, I don't want to be in this position for the rest, like in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years. I'm just doing one thing like the same way. I need like to do it differently. So job satisfaction for me means different thing to different people. It depends on your own personal goal, your own personal purpose, your own vision, what you envisage for yourself in the next, like, as whether short-term goals, medium-term goals, or long-term goals. There are people that take up jobs and then they are so excited about the job, like they don't have, nobody is standing as stumbling block for them. The expectation well explained, but give them 1 year or 2 years, they are not happy because it's like, I've been stagnated. Can I try something else? There are people that they don't want them to keep them. Okay, you are just a sound engineer. They want to also handle camera. They want to also be on the set. They want to do different things within a short period of time. So you see, people pick satisfaction from different angles. But the bottom line here is, when we talk about job satisfaction, is you being happy with what you do. Not just about your own skill, also being happy with
Not
the
even about
organization.
your income.
Yes,
Not
it has
even
less.
about
You know,
your-
when you talk about satisfaction, a lot of people's mindset is about money. Once I get paid certain amount of money, I'm
be happy.
You
satisfied.
don't know. You
But-
should go and see. You go and see the houses of assembly we have in Nigeria. Go and see the National Assembly. Go and see the government houses that we have. Even the presidency. There are people there. You think that once you get to that level, it has better for you. No, it has not better
Just
yet.
the beginning.
Yes, but you know what? People don't have ways of getting out of such prisons. They don't have ways of getting out of such prisons. But what, they can't do anything as well, but to remain there. But it's a prison for them. You cannot just see people driving cars, living in good homes, and think they have satisfaction from their jobs. No. There are people that are forced to read law. Now they are practicing. They are making it, but they are not happy
Yes.
because they really wanted to be a DJ or the sound engineer that you are talking about. Even only God knows who you are referring to. But the sound engineer that you are talking about, and that wants to do camera and wants to be on set, God will judge you. You should be using people and be making examples in church. So Jamima,
So
my
my
dear,
mind did not even go there at all. I didn't know that. The
when you
message.
receive letter, your mind will go there. So, but you see, honestly, I have had a friend who was one of the top 5 citizens of his state. Precisely a number 3 citizen of his state. But his wife felt like being a beautician. She wanted to have a salon. She wanted to have a beauty place. And he said, since that's what you want, and he opened it for her, and she thrived. People find satisfaction from the things that they like doing. Look at Equa Television, created since 2014, but being on air since 2018. There were people that were employed since 2017. They are still here. Meanwhile, some people came 1 year later. I still love you, those of you that are watching. But they left. They didn't have satisfaction. There are people that are just looking for something to do. It's not like it's what they want, but they don't want to stay at home.
Yes.
And I would keep saying this. I will not stop saying this. The least in an organization has the challenges of that level of life. The middle class in an organization has the challenges of that level in life. The topmost has the challenges of that level in life. When you think that when you become a director in your organization, you have come to a place of rest, think again. Yes, think again. Calculate the struggles from the most bottom of the in terms of ranking in the organization to the middle, to the top, then to the highest. Calculate all. That is what the Oga Pata Pata faces every day. And until you build capacity, God will not even allow you to be there. Until you build capacity. Look at the leaders we have in Nigeria. God allowed them to be there. And if you don't see anything good in them, it's you and your God. But judgment is of the Lord. Judgment is of the Lord. So if you are talking about job satisfaction, like I started explaining, I will always tell people, if you think there is something that will make your life better, think again. Work is work. The people that you see and you are envying, they are responsible for what is making you envy them, not the office. Not the office. Haven't you seen people crying while working in CBN? This Oga wants to sleep with me. This Oga wants to kill me. This Oga wants to send me away. This Oga wants to use me for ritual. This Oga wants to... But they are still in CBN. Is that what you want? One person, 17 problems. But 3 million naira salary every month. Is that what you want? Go and sit with people and discuss. Let them let you know. I just use CBN as an example. It's not like that people face that there, but I'm just saying. But you come to your own place of work. You are even willing to leave for nothing. No, get something better. Nobody is saying that everybody must stay where he's working for 50 years or forever. No. But get something that is better. And promise yourself that this is really better. And when I go there, I'll be great at it. Organizations don't have influence on people. People do on their organizations. And it becomes the outcome of who you are in that organization. The same Equa TV that you are complaining every day. Solo is in the same Equa TV. It's not like he's satisfied, but he has made his mind up to celebrate his job. So from that mind made up, from his mind made up on that, he's finding satisfaction. It's the same organization. They're insulting you, they're insulting him. He's laughing, you are crying. It's your decision. All of you got the impact, but you responded differently. So satisfaction does not come from job. It comes from who is doing the job.
And again, I think the general notion is that when you talk about satisfaction, people quickly attach it to the end result as in take home package.
Remuneration.
Allowance. Yes, you understand. And I believe that's where the frustration always comes from. And like he said, it's from the mindset. Okay, now I've made up my mind that yes, despite all of this, this is how I'm going to approach, the entire system. Let me put it that way. And then it makes it easier for me to navigate. Because you see, once you and I so much believe that, you know, the devil is very smart in a sense that he use things that, you know, it looks like it's generally accepted, that people can just believe and just go with it just to get at you. In the sense that if you don't build capacity, you talk about capacity, you know, building capacity, understanding who you are, what you want, makes you stand out. Because in life, when you talk about this world, I've said it, there's nowhere you find satisfaction.
You have to create it
There's
for yourself.
nowhere. There's nowhere. Even in Christ Jesus, that we find the ultimate satisfaction is still a struggle. Somebody will say, how? Because he already told you in advance that he said
there will be tribulation.
there will be tribulation. People will try your faith. So how do you think that people will try your faith? It will even come from this job satisfaction that we are talking.
Of course.
Okay, Shay, you are here, and you say you are a Christian.
Is she
Okay,
English?
let's go there.
Is she English?
Okay. It's come from around. I've just borrowed it.
Did you say it's come from?
I say it come from around. You understand? As in around.
Are you done?
As in around. It can be from Rumpa, Kwana, this thing.
Kwana Mesa.
Actually.
Wow.
So the earlier the better that we understand.
Jemima is
Some
not
of-
is a Jebo. She doesn't understand all these areas calling.
I
Oh,
do.
okay.
I was just shocked.
Where is Kwana Mesa?
Just continue.
You see, she doesn't know anywhere. She only knows Rayfield, Zermaganda.
Yeah.
Millionaires quarters.
Yeah.
Millionaires quarters.
Okay.
Did you say it in Buji earlier?
British America,
We
right?
didn't hear it now.
Did you say it
He
in
didn't
Buji?
understand the English. So he wanted me to
No, you
speak
said it in Buji.
He
You
wanted me
doesn't
to-
understand.
he wanted me to speak it in our tongue. So I have done that. Go ahead with
Okay,
your point.
speak in our like British America. Like,
Okay, well, we're talking about job satisfaction, right?
Exactly.
And you know,
Just now, Kureke, there is a way you switch.
see, truth be told,
mm,
you see, lack of job satisfaction does not just impact on the individual, but even the organization. Certain times you look at people that are very dissatisfied with their job, and you will just want to advise them just quit. But on the other side, you will look hard.
mm,
Why? For that person that will just tell you can quit, is looking at the impact, not just on you, but even the organization. You're working for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and you're still not happy. But see, when you're working, you're not happy with what you're doing. There's something it does to you. It reduces your commitment. And then it makes you unproductive. Now, this is not just to yourself, but it's going to impact on the organization. There's what we call word of mouth testimony. There are a lot of people that patronize your business, your organization, or your company wants to hear from you. There are times that they meet you, okay, how is this thing being done? How can I come in? Maybe as a customer or as a client. Oh, I've been seeing you've been doing this and that. So think about it that such a prospective customer is coming to someone that is dissatisfied with the job. Do you know the information that is going to go out there? It's not going to be a good image. And at the end of the day, it's not just impacting you now, your dissatisfaction, but also somebody out there. And that is the case that we have today with a lot of workers that are not satisfied with their job. The testimony out there about the organization is a terrible one. That at the end of the day, it affects the productivity and then the organization itself. And that is why sometimes when you see somebody consistently complaining, he has refused to be that one person, or she has refused to be that one person that will say, see, I will do this job regardless. I'm committed to doing this. Like, I'm happy about my role in this organization. If that person refuses to motivate his or herself to be that staff or to be that employee that will put in his best, then your stay in that organization is detrimental. It's really detrimental. There are a lot of factors, and I think it will be good to highlight some of the factors that makes people dissatisfied. Like Sambo Solomon said, when you talk about dissatisfaction, what quickly comes to people's mind is money. I've been working with Aiki Kaman Jackie, working like a slave, because when you equate it to what I go home with, like it's nothing. Compare it to even the federal government worker right now. Imagine that you're collecting you're buying rice for 75,000, sugar how much, and then how much is the minimum wage. You see that it's compared to the cost of living, it's nothing. It's really nothing. So having known that this is the reality that we're faced with, what are you supposed to do as an individual or as an employee? You have to be determined to tell yourself that regardless of what is happening in my society or in the country at large, see, I'm going to be determined to do what I can do to make life better. So you are saying, I'm not satisfied, I will just quit with this hard economy. When what you're supposed to be thinking is incremental wealth. You should not even have time for things that will make you dissatisfied. Because one of the things that makes people dissatisfied is, okay, lack of appreciation. I've been doing this work, nobody's telling me thank you, nobody's telling me well done. And when it doesn't come, would you want to quit because nobody told you well done? But within you, you know that what you're doing is the right thing and I'm on the right track. I should keep moving. I should keep moving, so that at the end of the day, I'm not just being impactful to myself, but also to the organization and to the bigger society at large. So there are a lot of reasons, there are a lot of factors to why people are being dissatisfied with their work. For some, it's even the goals and then the mission or the vision of the organization. It contradicts what they want to do. You know, there are workers that want to do what is in their mind. Like, don't come with some rules and regulations for me. Allow me to do what I can do. I have better ways of doing it. When you have a superior that is telling you that we are guided by this, and then, no, me, I want to do it this way. So the person finds the job not satisfactory because I'm constrained. I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not allowed to do that. So a lot of factors. While on the part of the employers, there are certain things that you also need to look at to make the work environment or the condition of work good for the employees, so that they can also put in their best and make life better. On your part too, as the employee, since you've decided to take up the job, be determined that I'm going to motivate myself. I'm going to be at my best. That because I work in an environment where there are different people there coming from different places, yes, people step on my toes. But regardless, when it comes, I'm not unaware of it because my expectation is already managed. So I'll find a way of thriving, except if there is a blockage that stops you from. But if it's just like, yes, for some people, they find dissatisfaction because of what people say about them. Because of relationships. I work in a place and then somebody is avoiding me, somebody is not talking to me, somebody is insulting me, somebody is looking down on me, somebody is gossiping about me. So I decide to allow that affect my work. I'm not happy, I'm crying, I cannot work because so person said this about me. Hey, that should not even be a reason. If you manage your expectation, if you know that people will be people, then even when it comes, you throw it away. It has nothing to do on you.
You talked about motivation. What is a factor that motivates in the absence of satisfaction?
In the absence of satisfaction,
yes,
what motivates?
Yes, because if somebody is already dissatisfied, satisfied with his job, what is the motivational factor?
Okay, I think you should find out what in the first place makes the person dissatisfied.
You know, for a lot of people, is who they are.
So you just take up a job as a dissatisfied person?
No, you led yourself to that terrain of dissatisfaction. Have you ever seen an organization where everybody is not happy with the policy? No. But you find few people not happy with the policy. It's who they are, it's not the organization. So how can people like that be helped?
They are only in the position to help themselves, not you helping them. Because if there's
but they don't know they need help. That's why I say, how can they be helped?
Well,
because if you feel some type of way about your health, without being told, you start looking for help. By running a test, by looking for medication, even if it's a painkiller for a start and all that. But if you don't know that you are sick, what do you do?
You see, personally, for the example you used, like there is a policy, and then some people align with with the policy, but a very few people feel that no, this is not the right thing. And because of by virtue of your position in the organization, you can't influence that policy. In my own opinion, my advice to such people is to quit.
And become what?
Look for what will make them satisfied.
Because honestly, if you look, almost every organization, their policies are the same. Not word for word. But why did I say policies are the same? In this sense now, if staff are not outputting correctly, there must be a policy against that lack in that organization. That is why everybody who is a CEO or heads one thing or the other tries to see it. Why do we have policy review? It's as people change and as demands unfold, and people have policies. But if you look at people whose mind are made up on having things the way they want, they switch jobs. You have to keep changing jobs, because until you find a boss who thinks like you, which is so unfortunate, you will not remain in one place. There are people in this life that everything has to be about how they are. If not, they don't fit in.
How they think, what they want.
So if not, they don't fit in. How do you help people like that? I think people, if you are watching and you are like that, you need to start coming out of that cave. Except if you want to create something that you want to do for yourself, like a business that you own, that you give the instructions and everything that you say is yours and you. But guess what? Even your customers will find out in your attitude.
Of course.
In your you being who you are. They will find out. And if there is a competition in that business, there will be no patronage for you. I think people don't understand the concept of work. That is why. When you apply to work in a place, you know, have you been privileged to sit in a place where people are interviewed? People will sit down and tell you, no, I will do my best. First and foremost, I will create this out. It's a lie. It's a lie. They just need that job. They are not employing you to just work. They are employing you to also abide by policies. Because your work is surrounded by their policies. Even if you are doing the work well. And that is why sometimes people ask themselves, what is wrong with me? Why am I always queried? Why am I always challenged? Why am I always being asked? It's simple. It's simple. You are doing your work well, but you are disregarding the policies of the organization. There are people that are extremely brilliant at what they do. But give them an opportunity to gossip. They will do it more than their jobs. And they deliver 100%. Give them an opportunity to castigate. Give them an opportunity to break rules. But they are doing their jobs well. They are doing their jobs very, very well. But give them they will even say, so in this place they don't allow. See, you didn't even care to find out. So you don't know the policies. You are saying, me, when I come, I'll just carry this cup, wash it and bring it back. But you don't know the policy. It says you cannot use more than certain amount of detergent to wash 5 of these mugs. And you say because you want to impress them, you take 3 times what they ask, and then it's finished in less than a week, something that's supposed to last a month. You didn't work with the policy. As little as that is, it can affect your income. It can even affect your grading in that place. So work is not just to come and do what you are asked to do you have to also consider what is much more important than your work is the policy of the organization.
Yes.
Because there is no organization that will respect what you do there above their policy. There is none. And if you don't understand that, first thing you should put in front is the policy, then your work follows, which is in most cases, in all cases, is what is right. The policy in front, then the work keep following. But if you put the work in front and the policies behind, you will break the policy without knowing until someone calls your attention to it. Oh, why did you do it? Okay, it's because I left the policy behind. I will change. But then you keep work in front and policy behind again.
A lot of times we just take job without considering the policy. It's just like you using your mobile phone and then you see terms and conditions and then you just agree without even reading it.
Joyce, who reads that time?
People and then so
Especially the one in
it's the
bank.
general attitude.
Very tiny write-ups. I will just look for where they say
Sign.
You see, even when I buy things, Jemima, even when I buy things, I just go straight to total. Wow. 14,250. Do you people use POS here? You don't care whether it is much or it is less. When do you have time to start reading
Then
the items?
later on, when you get caught up with those policies, you start complaining. Like, more, you know, the church is beyond being a ministry; is also an organization. I've seen people being voted in as to occupy a position of certain leadership and that, and then you're called in front of the church, or even being a minister or a pastor, you're being called to be sworn in or ordained, and they read those instruction or whatever it is in the book to tell you that, do you agree to this? Would you you hear everybody saying yes. In terms of, let's say, leaders of certain fellowship group, everybody, yes, I will. Yes, I will.
They say by the grace of God. That's when I know they will fail. You know, when people are looking for excuses, they bring God so that they just win your sympathy. But the Bible says His grace is sufficient for you. Why won't you say yes? Because if you fail, does it mean the grace was not sufficient?
No.
That's
I don't
like
trust
a
that.
backup
Just
excuse.
say yes. Don't say by the grace of any God. Just say yes, because His grace is already there is sufficiency in His grace. Okay,
Sometimes
so
when you say yes, they ask you to add the grace.
no, I will add it. If you ask me to add it, I will add it. I will add it. So when I fail, it's because you said I should add
give
the
me an
grace of
excuse.
God.
So I've seen people take such oaths and then like make promises in front of people, and then sooner or later, just when they call for, just give them 1 or 2 month business meeting, for example, or a convention, you see people raising hand. This is not right. I'm not going to do this. No, we should not. Okay, they've said their own. Let's go back home. We are not doing this. But you are the same person that said, I will abide by the rules and the regulation. I'm going. Did you not study? In fact, in most cases, people don't even know what the rules and regulations are. I'm going to abide by the rules, the policies of ECWA, for instance, and all. But you don't even know what it is. And then you're just quick to. People see vacancies or apply for social job. You just rush into applying. And then when you get the job, you're saying, me, I cannot do this. Nobody can subject me to this. But the organization says that this is the head of the organization, and he's going to direct the affairs of the. But we're saying, me, I'm older than this person. This person that is this person, he cannot subject me to this. She cannot subject me to that. And then there's a policy. So me, I think that people should be well guided beyond your personal interest. The organization does not revolve around you, because if we are going to look at job satisfaction in terms of individual now, then at the end of the day you stand for nothing, because I'm trying to please Jemima. As an organization, I'll have to please Sambo Solomon, and maybe for Jemima's own is that allow me to close 12 p.m. Sambo Solomon is saying you have to increase my salary to 1 million. Another person is saying I just want to work for 1 hour. So you are now working for the individual as an organization, and not for the policy that guided the establishment of the organization. So it is important that you are guided. Whatever job you want to take, why are you taking it? Like you said earlier, some people's passion is not even in studying law. The person just wants to be a DJ, but his parents forced him to study law because in their family they need a
no
barrister.
lawyer. In our family, the only lawyer we have is Icheku. He died 64
And we
years
need
ago.
somebody
And we need a lawyer in the family.
who stand for us when they are about to take our land.
That means
the
the
only land we
the
have.
family is
Only
planning to
land.
have problems.
And somebody is forced to read 10 books just
They
so
are
that he
planning
can
to have
pass.
problems, court cases.
This one is foreseen circumstances.
Yeah,
It's not
of
unforeseen.
course. So you as an individual or as a child in that kind of family, you are forced to read 20 books, 10 books, big books, just so that the family can have a lawyer. They don't care even if you fail 100 times. You must become that lawyer. They must call you to bar. At the end of the day, you get the job. But man, this is not what you want to do.
Just
is
like
not what
we
you want to
said
do.
earlier on, you have to create your own satisfaction. Because if you don't do that, you'll be running from one job to the other. At the end of 1 year, you would have had nothing less than 5 jobs. And all of these jobs will not have a good testimony for you because you have not even created your own satisfaction. When you were speaking, some of the reasons why people do not have job satisfaction is they have a lot of expectation. You were expecting that this is what will happen. And at the interview, you said you would work with little or no supervision at all. You said you would work under
Cliches.
pressure. But all of a
Forget all
sudden,
these adlibs. Forget all these adlibs.
and just like you said
Cliches.
earlier on, you needed that job badly.
But
So
Jemima,
you had to
that I say I can work under pressure does not mean you push me to
me
my
to the
breaking
wall.
point. No.
But
no,
you were
that's-
not even pushed. The hand was just coming close to you, and
It
you.
was a tap.
So really, it goes a
Somebody
long
slapped
way.
his wife. We went and asked him. He said it was love tap. That
So
he
it
was
goes-
correcting her
it
in
goes-
righteousness.
It goes a long way to show that people don't even mean half of the things that they say. So it shows that you need to really create your own satisfaction. If not, in little or no time, you lose interest.
But what
You
if
see-
these
you
things
see-
are not going on
in
right?
the-
see,
You
No,
lose
no, no,
interest
Joyce,
in
oh,
the.
I'm so
Human,
glad you asked this question, Joyce. Let me. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay, no
Let me
problem.
bring you to a point. Have you ever seen the reason why people quit their jobs? Have you ever checked?
Few reasons.
Few. Like
Yes.
what? What have you heard?
Pay, the pay we talked about
Number
initially.
one.
They feel the pay is not enough.
Number one.
They feel they needed to relocate,
Number two.
or they had another option, a better option.
Which is a good one.
Mm.
If you are, because
Better option.
everything about life
Mm.
shows that man wants to prosper,
Mhm.
but not you don't look for a better job at the expense of your peace, because everything revolves around fulfillment.
Mm.
I have left a very good job I was doing because I was not finding fulfillment, and I left. And everybody in that place now has prospered even beyond me. But I don't care. I never had satisfaction. I was not fulfilled, so I left. But I'll pick the first two that you said. The first one was relocation, and the second one was what?
Payment.
Salary increment.
Yeah.
You cannot quit
The
a job
payment.
because your salary is small. That's not a good reason to quit a job. But you can quit a job if you have something better to do. You see? So small salary is better than no job at all.
True.
People must understand that.
Yes.
Have you ever had reasons? Have you heard reasons that are different why people quit their job?
Yeah, some people will say the place is toxic. People talk about like people talking about them negatively,
Yeah.
so they feel
That's a very good reason to also talk about. Joyce, have you ever heard?
Yes. Lack of job security. Now, maybe
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons for some people. Then there's the going against the ideal. Maybe in the organization, people that are at the helm of affairs are not doing what is expected or what is ideal. So they feel, I can't stay here.
In
Some
other
people,
words,
they
it
feel
is
they are not
fighting your
appreciated.
beliefs. In other words,
Yes.
I think that is another good reason. You don't find fulfillment. You understand? So you can leave. But before you apply for the job, try and check profile of the company so that you will know,
Yes.
so that you don't get
You
to the
don't
point
waste
where you have to
time.
make such decisions. You don't even get to the point. Have you heard people complain that they want to quit their jobs because they don't have time for some other things?
Yes, yes.
Have you heard that?
Yes.
That is very common. Then what's the other? Relocation
gossip.
and gossip, and then
Lack of job
Fulfillment.
security.
lack of job satisfaction, security. Why would I quit a job? Because I am thinking that the company will close down. Security. People prefer federal government work, which is everlasting till you retire. People prefer working in places like Ekwa, which they know will not fall, or Koki, a church that is rooted and established solely, like is very, very established. So they prefer that, and they call it job security, even when it's paying them. I've seen people who have left private sectors to go to government, where they are paid almost half or a little above half what they were earning. I've seen people. It's not a good reason. It's not a good reason. when you quit your job because you don't have time for yourself, do you know that when you quit that job, you will have time for yourself, but you can't do for yourself what you have the time to do? It will get to a point you can't even afford soap to wash that body that you love.
That you created time for.
Yes. It will get to a point you want to carry dreadlocks so that you will not be going to the salon, but they will tell you maintaining it is this amount, so you are wearing low cut, if not because you like it. People don't think deep before they put pen to paper. I want to quit.
But for that of job security, I think is a valid reason for somebody to quit.
Joyce, it is a valid reason. I didn't say it's not a valid reason. But you quit, like I said earlier in the show, you quit when you have assurance of where you are going to.
That's what I'm saying. If
How can you quit something you are not sure will last long for something you are not sure you will get?
in this
The federal government job.
in this,
Okay, if everybody in Equa Television is promised level 13 in federal government, who will stay?
Only the
I'll
ones.
stay, I'll stay.
Only the ones that are called.
I'll stay.
That are truly called.
Even your sincerely will consider. Even your sincerely, even your faithful,
Only the ones that have mission
Yours
mind.
in service.
even yours in service. But you see, that is the truth. If you are talking about, if you have the offer at hand already, go. If you have the offer at hand, go. But you cannot refuse a job in a private sector because it lacks security. It lacks job security. And go and stay at home. That's foolishness. But what I think what Joyce is trying to say is, if you are working in a bookshop and they are paying you 50,000 and you are not paying transport, you are not doing anything, it's close to your house, and then you have an opportunity to work in state government or federal government at a level that pays you 70,000, even the same 50,000, you can go, even if it's 45,000. You know that there are benefits attached to when you leave. But that bookshop, the day it is closed, they might send you a text, don't come tomorrow. That's how they will break you up between you and the job. The job becomes your ex by text. Ex by text. You see? But you see, when we're talking, it has gratuity, it has pension. These are pensionable jobs, and these are things that people look for. After retirement, there are certain things. But if you are wise, I've seen people that work in private sector, saved, built houses, and even have tenants, and I established in business, not too big, but enough to take care of themselves. You see, before you quit, I want you to really objectively sit down and think.
You know, like,
Not just to think about quitting, but to think about life after quitting. That is what people don't think about. People just think about quitting, and then they put reasons together, and you see valid reasons. You see valid reasons. You can't just be in a place and you are not fulfilled and you are still there. No, it's a valid reason to leave. But another question is, after quitting, what happens? After that valid reason, let's say, okay, you have quit. What's the essence of quit? You have caught. Then after you quote, but after quitting, which is a valid reason, and you executed that reason, and we are happy. At least with this her health condition, she will have time for herself now. But what about drugs? What about life after quitting? These are things that people hardly ever think of. You are the one that said, one man of God said, every big man, every small man, every kind of man has had the urge to quit. It was just an urge, but they never quit. But the question is, why did they not quit? Because they thought of life after quitting, not quitting. I have been in that position several times. You think of life, even a man and a woman, you have been married for 20 years and you want to quit. You get to a point, you know that things are not working, but you keep thinking, after quitting, I have children, I have this. But the reason to quit, they are all there, and they are valid reasons. Because you have a scar from a stab, you have a scar from a burn, you have all of these things. These are valid reasons because both of you are hostile and there's no reason why you should live together. but you have children, you have things you have done together in your names, you have so what is the way forward after quitting? What happens? That is the reason why everybody must sit down and think. This job satisfaction that I don't have, once I leave this job, will I be satisfied? The answer is obviously yes, because the reasons why you don't have peace is gone. You are far from being tested for blood pressure. Now your life is sweet. But let's talk about feeding. Let's talk about medication. Let's talk about even social life. Maybe once in a while you want to walk out, buy a car and come back. You want to walk out, eat this and come back. Drink this, as in some cases, and come back. And just enjoy your life and come back. When you can have rent, fees, and all of that, what happens after that? You see, these are things in the back, like how someone will say, take your thoughts further. Don't just think about immediate needs. No, take your thoughts further. That's what people don't do. I've been interrupting.
Yes, I think there are extreme
all the weak points you're trying to make.
There are extreme cases that even if you don't have anything to hold on to, you should quit the job. Because
I just didn't say it that way, but I said it, but I just didn't say it that way.
So there are extreme cases. For example, I don't have a job, or I'm not holding on to any other thing. This is just the only job you're doing, and then your life is at stake, your belief is at stake, and then your mental health, because it's common to hear people say, oh, my peace is more important to me than, in most cases, it's not really about that. And then, but the extreme cases that I'm talking about, that I think it's okay to quit, is when it contradicts what you stand for, which is the truth. As a Christian, for example,
no, it's not even as a Christian. I knew a police lady who was promoted like every year. She was changing cars. Everything was working for her. And suddenly she started losing weight. So we didn't know that they were just passing her around. She was not married. They were passing her around. This one would touch and touch and touch and give to this one. They will touch. Then they will promote her. This one, I'm talking about touch in terms of sexual. She struggled with it. She just gave in. So everybody was touching her. Now, she caught sickness and died. She was positive. She was HIV positive and died. Within, I think, 16 years, right? Within 16 years or so, if you saw the promotion she had, but at the expense of her life. So if you quit for reasons like that, it's a good reason to quit. She might be suffering today or not be satisfied, but she's alive. That's not to say it's not a good thing to die, but
so extreme cases like that, where you're being assaulted, when your life is being threatened, because there are some people that at the point of I will not go, I will be here and I will not allow them to do this or something. Like they end up taking their life.
Die there.
Yes. So
you will die.
If it's at the detriment of your life, it's okay for you to just quit. You don't find satisfaction because what they are doing contradicts what you stand for. It's okay to go. I've had cases where people tell me that, Joyce, you are still working as a contract staff. If I were you, I will not come back.
You were a contract staff somewhere.
There were moments that people
I just
tell
asked
you.
A question, Joyce.
Yes. So at some point, and then people tell you, if I were you, I will not go back. Why? All people give you a lot of reasons. But you see, if I was to hearken to all the advice that I've had, I would not
have come
be
to
where I am today.
So you left that place and came to Equa TV and worked.
Because for me,
okay,
what they
you're
saw,
not answering questions. People are watching; they want to know.
I remain where I was. So you see, for some people, you
remain where you was. Okay. Jemima, what is A? All my Englishes, you are laughing at them.
So you see, what they define as satisfaction was not what I see as satisfaction. For some of them, it is the money that they see as satisfaction. But I didn't define my satisfaction of being in that job as the money, because maybe it's something I can get even not.
Did you leave that place, or you were confirmed in that place?
Later confirmed.
Okay. Are the people aware?
They are aware.
What did they tell you?
No, they nothing.
That is life. You see, when you base your thoughts on what other. Joyce made a very valid point. What they see as that, she doesn't see it as that. What they see as this, she doesn't see it as this. So why suggest to me? If at your age, once you are over 18, it's expected that you already know what you want in life. You already know whether you are treated good or bad. And even if you are treated bad, you can decide to stay. You are an adult. Haven't you seen people that men are dealing with, but they say, I am staying. They have scars, they have all, but it works out for them at the end because they know what they have seen. When you start relying on what people say, you see, I can't even take your progress as a yardstick for measuring mine.
No, true.
You can't. We might have been in the same primary school, same secondary school, same class in the university, graduated with the same day with the same results and the same everything. How we think is different. And that is the only thing that affects your productivity in life.
And that is what people measure.
Do you understand?
I was even doing better than her. So what?
And that's where people get their satisfaction too.
Exactly.
There was
Use
a
their
guy,
mates, their
a
classmates.
guy left us in secondary school and said, "Oh, the school is a waste of time." We looked at that guy as, because of what they used to tell us about education, we looked at him as somebody that will go and die or join them. What's this boy's name that used to be stubborn, carrying knives around in the area and all of that. And then we looked at him as somebody whose life has come to an end. Before we wrote WAEC, we saw him doing bus conductor. We laughed at him. Then we saw him driving once in a while. The guy would give him car, he would drive. And then we saw him with his own vehicle that somebody bought and gave him. And then we saw him with one he said it was his own. And then women fellowship in church. We are in the same church. Women fellowship in church. We say, we are going for a conference. You take us and bring us back. Choir will come. Take us and bring us back. Women fellowship will come. Everybody, boys brigade. Then one day they gave him, you know how they will call you as a driver and say, we need 8 buses. Then you go and look for the other drivers. One day they came. They asked him for buses. This guy came with buses. He now told the pastor that all the buses are his. We that didn't drop out, what did we have then? And the guy was living large. Before we knew it, the pastor was preaching in church one day, and he now said, that was on our way coming back from dedicating Aziz's house. His name was Aziz. Yes, they were on our way coming back to dedicating his house and blah 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 blah. Well, like this guy bailed and he didn't tell anyone. Who will he tell? The people that looked down on him and said, you will suffer, you did. But he had accident and died. Yes, he's no more. He had accident and died. But he made everybody in his family proud. Everybody, even his marriage, his wedding, he had money, but he did a quiet one.
Please don't go and drop out though. Somebody said that all of you shout to school now scouts. If they remove voice note from WhatsApp, can you chat?
Honestly, that describes my case sometimes. when sometimes typing is serious work, and there's sometimes some sentences are not just needed together, no matter how you put them. So you just erase it and say, see, like I was explaining earlier, it's better to express yourself that
You
way.
will write it.
Sambo Solomon, you have the floor.
Today, truly, I was chanced, but no problem. Let me make my point.
Part of the satisfaction.
Yes. Are you still satisfied? Are you still satisfied being on the show?
I'm dissatisfied the way I'm treated today.
You say you should create
but I will
your
not
motivation.
quit. But I will not. That's my motivation. I will not quit because the last thing that I will say, somebody will go home with it.
Amazing.
But it's good to be here. It's good to be here. I was just sitting down quietly and just listening, and then
Sorry to cut you. I watched a show with a lady that was almost in your position, and said finally when they told her talk, they said, "Okay, you have the time." She said, "Finally," like angrily. She spoke, but she later, eventually she doesn't do the show anymore. Yeah, she later left because she's always picking and getting angry. You see, for her, that was her point of dissatisfaction. She says to pick. And that particular program today, anywhere you go and you mention that show, everybody can relate to. That's how far the show has grown. But she quit. She quitted because she felt that, okay, I'm not happy. Like, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I feel is a win-win thing from the organization and from whoever is working for the organization, because, like we said, in this world, you will never get satisfied, because the truth of the whole matter, even the organization are not satisfied. That's why they keep pushing, they keep employing, because there's this target that they want to meet. And then from the other side of the employee, you know, he has things he wants to meet up, because he has a job, and there's expectation based on the policies of the organizations. They said, if you are working for us and we're achieving this, you will get this, you get that. So if the two are not working together like a win-win, already is a problem. But knowing that in this world you will never get satisfaction, I think it is good to know that, you know, whatever you are doing and it's paying you, just be contented and keep moving. In our own part as Christians, all you need to do is to pray and ask God to keep helping you and give you patience so that you can endure whatever is coming. And at the end of the day, let that his name be glorified at the end of whatever you do.
Indeed, whatever it is you're doing and is paying you, be contented with that. And don't stop there. Keep pushing. That you're contented doesn't mean you should accept what you have and give up. You should keep pushing whatsoever it takes. A lot of times we put our satisfaction based on other people's satisfaction. We should be able to create our satisfaction. And whatsoever place you find yourself working, make sure you are able to create your own satisfaction. Do not allow people define what you do. They should not dictate what you should do. You should be able to create yours and stick to it. And no matter what someone else does or say to you, it shouldn't get to you. It shouldn't make you leave that job. You were not there for another person, so you should not leave for another person. Instead, you should leave because of a good reason. Just like we have discussed earlier on, if you have a better opportunity, why not? You can move. But if you do not, keep striving there, keep putting your efforts there, and do not allow anything to hinder your progress. Do not allow anything to stop you from reaching that desired goal. I hope you learned a lot today. See you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.